Welcome to Pera's Playbook. This is your host, Alex Pera. Let's open up our playbook and see who our guest is. Please enjoy. Welcome to episode 201 of Pera's Playbook. Today we're joined by Devin Bice. He's a tight ends coach and O-line coach for the Presbyterian Blue Hose football team. We're going to talk about their past season. We're going to talk a little bit about what he does. We're going to talk about the upcoming season, kind of a little FCS college football preview maybe. And yeah, it's going to be a good time. Glad to have Devin here on the podcast. How are you tonight?
I'm great. Living the dream, man. Living the dream. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, appreciate you taking a little bit of time. I know things are starting to get busy. We're turning up the volume with football. We're a few weeks out here from opening week, which is crazy. We're already at that point. Fall is just around the corner. I love it though. I love it. Best time of year.
Yes.
Probably the busiest time of year for you. Well, maybe not. Maybe recruiting's busier. I don't know.
No, I mean it's definitely busy. We're actually halfway through our camp right now. We have practice 12 today, and we have 16 days until we play Mercer, our first game. So we're cranking it up. We're hitting. We have a scrimmage with the officials and like live work on Saturday. So just trying to get everything ready and just really enjoy the process because we have some older guys that we're excited to see from last year playing this year. So it's a busy time for sure.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely dive into like kind of looking at this upcoming season. But before we talk about last season, this season, just want to touch a little bit about like kind of your role, tight end coach, O-line coach. I mean, do you work with tight ends more than O-line, or do you work with them equally? How do you split your time?
Yeah, so I mean, there's two of us O line coaches. Okay, so the way we do things at Presbyterian, I work with the O line majority of the time, but then I get the tight ends for individual and during team and all that stuff as well. But the biggest thing that I do in my role that Coach Engelhardt hired me for was to come in and really help with the O line and have two of us O line coaches. I mean, we have 18 guys on the O line, and so just making sure that we could have as many eyes on them as possible. And the other O line coach, Matt Rawl, he does a great job. He's been around some really good programs. He's a little older, so it kind of helps with the dynamic of our guys too, because you have me, which I'm 33. I see myself as a younger guy, and then you have an older guy that has been around a lot of different programs, and we can really gel and mesh with every guy that's on the O line. But I love the scenario that I'm in, and working with the O line, but also having the tight ends in certain scenarios and certain drill work and all that stuff is awesome because my background, I played at the Citadel. I was a tight end growing up, played tight end 2 years of college, and then transitioned to O line and been an O line coach ever since. And so having both worlds is awesome, and having the dynamic with the coaching staff is really cool too because I mean we all really gel very well together, and we do a really good job on the offensive side of just making sure all the guys are ready to play.
So being a tight end that transition to O-line, do you favor one over the other? Like, do you like one position more than the other? Having
Oh, that's a
having
good
played
question.
both.
I mean that's a good question. Now, I mean honestly, like I love the tight ends. I mean they have a special place in my heart, but like being an O line guy is awesome, right? I mean, you got five guys that you're responsible for. That the brotherhood and the camaraderie is just different, and I mean, the O line guys are just they're a different breed, anyways, right? And just being able to coach those guys and really see them gel together, and knowing that hey, in the run game, we rush for 300 yards, like y'all are doing your job, right? And it's just cool to really see that dynamic. Well, tight end is cool too because you catch touchdowns, you're doing all that, you're part of the run game too. But you have one guy, possibly two, sometimes on the field. So I love the tight ends, but I have a really big spot for the O line and what they do and being a part of that.
It's kind of like the glue of the offense, right? Like you can have an awesome group of receivers, tight ends, quarterback, running back, but if the O line sucks, it's going to be hard for your offense to do anything. I mean, we see that in the NFL all the time. There's rookie quarterbacks, they got great. I think the Bears are a perfect example last year. And Caleb Williams got beat up.
Oh
Young
yeah,
rookie quarterback, great receivers, good running back core. weak O line. This year they
Yeah.
tuned up their O line. Well, I mean that's a huge piece for an offense. He glue guys that right. If your quarterback gets knocked down, who comes and stands up for him? Right, get out of my quarterback
Right.
face. It's the O line, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, they're the foundation of your program, man. And you got to make sure that they have that camaraderie and gel together and they're the backbone of your program. And you want to make sure that they're hard nosed, nasty players on the field, but really good men also. So
Yeah. Did you do a lot of recruiting work too, like in the off season with O line and tight end guys?
yeah, so the way we do things here, we recruit nationwide, right? And the way we do things, we have our own specific territory that we recruit, and we'll bring in guys from all positions from our recruiting area, and then once we get them in the system, then we'll break it up by position. So the way we do things here is me and the other O line coach. Once we get to that specific evaluation period of just being able to evaluate the O line, and then we'll be able to split those in half too. So like me, I take the Florida, I take the Georgia, the Alabama, all Texas, all the Midwest, all that stuff of the O line, and then the other O line coach, Coach Raw, will take the northern parts, South Carolina, North Carolina, and all those different states, and just make it easier. I mean, this past recruiting cycle, we evaluated and made a board, and we have 250 kids on there, and just making sure that we split it up and really hone in on who we want to evaluate and who we like, and making our board and making it where we are specifically with the O line in our area makes it a lot more personable too. Like I can talk to guys in my area as much as I want, and I'm just focusing on them. Right, I'm not having to focus on all the other positions and all those different areas and all that stuff. Like when we get to that, like now, when we after with the evaluation period and all that stuff, now I can just focus on my guys in my area, and especially O line guys. And so it's awesome, especially with this staff, of being able to do that. Yeah, the grunt work is getting all the positions and really getting everybody in the beginning of it, and then once you get everything situated and get to your board, then it's smooth sailing from there.
Do you have to do a lot of traveling then?
Yeah, I mean, we do. Like, I'm from the good thing is I'm from Florida, right? So my area, I recruit Florida, the Panhandle, Jacksonville, everywhere I've lived or coached. I recruit Georgia. My wife has family in Georgia. I've played in South Carolina. I coached in Alabama. So like I have really good ties and connections to all the states that I recruit. But also it makes it good too, because now I can go back and visit family. I can go stay with certain people and really have the ties and the foundation in those areas to really get down to the nitty gritty of who do I want to recruit, who's going to help me, and everybody in my areas, man. Like I've coached with them. I was a high school coach to start with, and so visiting the high schools that I've coached at or coached against and just have friends at has been awesome. And they do a really good job of helping me and just showing me the right direction of who I need to recruit, and just keeping me in touch with everybody that I want to like and evaluate and all that stuff too.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So at this point, like, how would you sum up your time at Presbyterian so far? I mean, you've coached at a few different places along the way. Now you've been at Presbyterian for a little over a year. You're going to be going into your second season, right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Yeah. So how would
No,
you sum up your time so far?
I love it, man. It's a great environment. I don't know if you know much about it, but I mean, Presbyterian is the smallest Division I school in the country, and we have about just over 1,000 kids that go to school there. And I mean, it's a great school, small school. They have a lot of pride, a lot of tradition, and so just having everybody involved. And it's funny because one of my professors I actually had at the Citadel is a professor here now at PC, and so me and her are really close, and she teaches a lot of my offensive linemen and a lot of the players, and so she keeps me in touch with them and making sure that they're doing the right stuff. But the coaching staff is awesome. I mean, I've been around really good programs at every level, from high school all the way up to ACC when I coached at NC State, and I will definitely say like this is one of the top places I've been at because of just the environment, the types of kids that we recruit, the coaching staff that I'm with as a whole. And that's one reason why I came here, is because of Coach Englehart and the staff that he had here, and just the family dynamic. I mean, I'm married with 3 kids, and almost everybody on the staff is married, and most of them have kids, right? So just being able to fit in as a family dynamic is huge too. and just making sure that my wife fits in with other coaches' wives, and my wife's she's a teacher, so getting a job here in Greenville, and my kids can go to school and all that stuff. So, but this place definitely has grown on me. That's one reason why I came here. It's close to where I went to school, and it feels like home. It feels like a place I could be at for a while.
Yeah. No, I did not know much about Presbyterian other than I had Justin Bethel on a
Oh yeah,
while back, and right, he's one of the big alumni to come out of there and have a really successful, awesome NFL career. He was an awesome guy, really cool dude.
yeah,
Um, but I'm definitely gonna be, I'm gonna have to follow you guys this year now. Now that I got a connection,
absolutely,
I'll be rooting for you guys when the season kicks in. That's one thing I love about the podcast, making these connections, and then like now I've got new people that I want to root for these new teams. I want to follow new teams. I always try to keep up with whatever guests, whether I have players or coaches on. Like I like to follow, see how their programs are doing, see how their seasons are going. It's really cool.
absolutely. No, that's awesome for sure.
So let's talk about kind of last season going into this season. You guys were 6-6 last season, but you had two overtime losses. You had three one-score losses in a row, and you finished the season on four wins. So 6-6, right? We could have been 9-3, finished on
Yep.
a high note. Obviously, those overtime losses, those one-score games, those are the worst. I mean, they suck. Um, but it also makes you realize, like, okay, we're not that far off. Like,
Yeah.
we're just one step away. So, taking all of that, what you guys know about last season, the guys you're bringing in, what's the rate right now? Going into this season, where's everybody at? What's head coach saying right now? What's the feeling around the team?
Yeah. No, I mean, last year was awesome, and it was very mind blowing too. I mean, you brought up all the stuff, and I hate living in the past, but just knowing, and this is one thing that we've told the team once they reported back was, hey, like, yeah, we did all those things last season, right? But from that and bringing into this season, our motto for this season is now, no other way, right? And so, um, just living off of what we did last year and just learning, like we were young, we had a lot of guys that haven't been in the program, or like some new guys that really didn't know what PC was about that played in these games, and we hit all the different scenarios that you could hit in a season: overtime, fumbles, missed field goals, right? Like being up and then losing in overtime, or being up and losing at the end of the game. Like, so we hit every dynamic known to man in the last season, right? And so getting everything together at the end of the season and getting those four wins and finishing off a high note was awesome, right? And we have a lot of those guys back, right? And a lot of the all conference guys, our quarterback that was a freshman All American, finalist for the Jerry Rice Award, like some like really good stuff. Um, they're all back, and so the thing that we're living about and really dealing with in this camp going into this season is making sure that we hone in on with the guys that we have and making them the best players that we can make them as a coaching staff, and really putting them in the right scenarios to be able to win games. And we have some really good players, really good tight ends, really good receivers, all conference defensive linemen. So like, how can we put them in the best scenarios to win a ball game? And with our schedule too, like we have a chance to be really special. But with our motto and living in the now, is going to be huge, right? And so like last year we had a hurricane, and we had to miss a game and play it on Sunday and then travel to San Diego. Like there's a lot of different scenarios that affected us, but with that being said, you got to live in the now, right? So we got to live day by day, hour by hour, and just really hone in on how can I be a better coach, how can I be a better player, and get this program where it needs to be. So after everything is done now, where are we at the end of the season? And so we're excited about this season coming up. We're excited to be able to play Mercer first game, because we played them first game last year, and we didn't really know them and know much about them because there's a whole new coaching staff. And we went in with a really good game plan, and I mean we scored the most points they had for the first 7 weeks, right? And so we're excited to be able to, now that we know them and know what they're about, and the players and the coaches that they have, like being able to really play them hard and hopefully shock the world, and because they're ranked top 25. So it's a good dynamic to have, and a really good opportunity to be able to showcase what we have for the season.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's nice to start with a tough game like that, right? A lot of first week games are kind of weak for a lot of teams, right? Like if you look at FBS, right? You get Georgia's playing Marshall this year. I mean, upsets can happen, but odds are Georgia's going
Yeah,
to win, and then they're going to win by a few touchdowns probably. Um, so it's nice to start off with a tough game. Really shows you what you're made out of. Really, you can rate away like what do we need to work on going into the rest of the season.
yep,
You mentioned Mercer; they got a good program, really good team. So I mean, that's the way you want to start. Let's just go out there, see what we got, and then you've got the rest of the season to build off of that. I feel like
absolutely.
sometimes if you play three really maybe easier games to start the year, and then all your fourth game's a ranked opponent, you might get kicked in the chops a little bit because you kind of coasted your way through those first three games. You see it a lot in the
Yeah,
FBS with ranked teams, right? They got an easy schedule to start, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, they got to play somebody. So when you come out of the gate, play Mercer, you'll know exactly what you guys have and what you guys need to do, and people argue about that, right? Like this year, a lot of people are saying Ohio State and Texas are playing week one. Is that good or is that bad? I mean, there's two
right.
sides to it. I guess it depends on what you look for, right? I don't know. I think it's good to come out and play a big game right away.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I mean, our first 2 weeks, we got Mercer and Furman first 2 weeks, and I'm excited about it. But it's humbling because right now we think we're good. We're practicing, we're making all the catches, we're making all the blocks. But once we go play a ranked opponent and get hit in the mouth a little bit and really figure out where we're at, then when we get into our non-conference opponents, now when we get into our conference opponents, now we know like where we're at and what kind of players we have going into our season. So I love it. I love it, and I think it's a great idea. Like I know I'm a huge Florida State fan, and Florida State's playing Alabama first game, and so I love it, man. It's you're going to see what you have at the beginning of the season, and hopefully you can get through that game healthy and be able to practice after that and know what you need to work on to be able to finish out your season on a positive note.
Yeah, there's a great slate of games at the for FBS to start the year. You mentioned the Florida State, Alabama. We got the Texas, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Miami, LSU, Clemson. I mean, it's going to be a really great start to college football. I think that
Absolutely.
Florida State Alabama game is a game to watch. I know a lot of people are counting Florida State out, but Alabama's tough, but they're not the same as they were
Yeah.
with Saban. You can't
Right.
promise wins like you could with Saban. Um, Florida State's got great coaching staff there. That's a great program. I think it's going to be a really good first week game.
Yeah, I think so too, for sure.
So let's talk kind of a little bit the current state of college athletics, the impact on the smaller schools. Right? I mean, everything's kind of exploded over the past few years with NIL money and transfer portal, and everybody's got a different opinion on it. Some people think it's awesome, they love every bit of it. A lot of old school people hate it. They think it's ruining college athletics. Some people don't think that the small schools can compete because they big programs can kind of lure their star players. Right? You got a freshman comes in, kills it at the FCS level. Somebody throws a little money his way, he can transfer out. So what is your thought on all of this, kind of where college athletics is from that kind of small school perspective?
Yeah, I mean, I've been a pro NIL since the beginning, especially being a former college player, and I think they should get paid, especially on if the schools and the community is going to use their name, image, and likeness. I think they should get paid. But I've said it from the beginning. I think there should have been a cap. I think there should be guidelines to it and all that stuff. But as being a small school Division I program, it does affect us hugely, right? And because we can't compete we have NIL, yes. At PC, we do have NIL, but it's going to be more of the older kids, the guys that have been established, and guys that need money because we're non scholarship, and so being in the Pioneer League, our guys on average are paying $10,000 to $15,000 a year to go to school here, and so any way we can help them be able to not have to pay that much is huge, and so I think it's a great idea, but with us being a small school and being a private school, it's tough to be able to really build that pot up and help as many kids as we want to as possible. I mean, I think once we get to the point where we can help all the kids out, I think that'd be huge. But right now, we just help the juniors and seniors and guys that are contributing and really need the help. And with it being new, especially for us, just trying to find out the components of how we can really build this NIL. Because we don't really get a lot of revenue. Our basketball team's not the same as Butler. Butler, they can get the revenue sharing because of their basketball team and all the money they bring in for different sports, but we just don't have that at PC. So it affects us hugely. I mean, especially in the transfer portal, like we don't have a lot of guys that leave PC because of Coach Englehart and what he's built here the last 4 years and just the culture. But we've had guys get offered NIL deals from other teams and a lot of money, and some of them left, some of them didn't because of the culture. But it does affect us, especially guys that are really good players at our level. They can play at a higher level. So that's the scary part because you never know after the season who's going to start talking to your players and trying to lure them out of being at PC. But as long and I don't think it's ruining college sports. I think it's in some aspects it's helping, but I think it is something that you have to be wary about because of if you don't have the money, you don't have the culture that people want to be part of. I think it could definitely hurt you in that aspect for sure.
Have you found like going the other way, not guys transferring out, but like you guys have been able to get transfers that come? Like, do you guys look in the transfer portal when you're recruiting a lot? Is that something that you guys are, looking for other guys that want to come and transfer to PC?
Yeah, we do have a handful of guys that come here, especially on the offensive line. I got 3 guys out of the transfer portal in this last recruiting cycle. We got one player from Gardner Webb. We got one player from Limestone because they just shut down. We do a lot of JUCO as well. So transfer portal and JUCO it's a hand picking scenario for us. But for us it is hard to get guys out of the transfer portal unless they're local guys and know about PC because once you start saying, "Hey, we're non-scholarship. You're gonna get academic money. We're not gonna really be able to offer you NIL deals. We're not gonna be able to do all these things." That kind of hurts us in the recruiting process. But we also do a different type of recruiting because of the type of school that we are, right? And so we want good character kids. We want kids that want to be here. We want kids that know about PC and are excited to play at our level. And we've got a lot of guys from the portal from D3, D2, and because they want to play at the Division I level, but they also know what we're about. And so it's a good aspect to have, especially at a place like this, but it is challenging. But I mean, we're able to pull out some guys from the portal and JUCO and all that, and it's getting tough, but it's definitely doable, and we're able to do it. And I think what speaks volumes is just the coaching staff and just the way we do things, and the outside world seeing what PC is now being and is a part of. So
Yeah, for sure. I agree with everything you said. I mean, I have no problem with NIL. I think there should be some regulations, some guidelines. One of the biggest things I'd like to see is like a cap on how many times you can transfer. I think there's so many guys
right,
that have transferred that they go to 4 or 5 schools in their time. Um, I had a guy that played at Auburn back in the I think it was like late 80s, 90s, and he had a kind of a take like if you have money, you should almost kind of have to sign a contract where you're committed to that
yeah,
school for 2 years or whatever it is. So I think some of that stuff, and I'm sure we'll start to see that. I think that this
yeah,
kind of beast just blew up, and nobody really knew how big it was going to get, and now is the time to
yeah.
start reining it in and changing it. And I'm sure over the next few years regulations will get put in and it'll be able to benefit everybody. But yeah, if your name is being used, they're selling jerseys, they're using you to market. Yeah, you should get a piece of it, of course, because it's not like Division I college athletes can just go out and get a weekend job, right? Like your
Right.
sport is your
No
job.
doubt.
I think people
Right.
totally miss that, um, especially at a non-scholarship school like yours. If eventually you can help kids get a little extra money through NIL, that's awesome. So
Yeah.
there's definitely pros to it. Hopefully it works out here pretty soon where they get some regulations.
No, I mean, I think that's one of the biggest things when they went away with how many times you can transfer. I think that was a Pandora's box. Like the old days when I played, I mean, I graduated in 2013, so it's not that long ago. But when I played, if you want to transfer, you either had to be a grad or you had to go down. You couldn't go to the same level or go up. So that those are things that I think needs to go back into play, or give them another. I know there's different scenarios and each kid's different, but there needs to be a regulation, because when you transfer 3 or 4 times and you're playing a seventh year senior, like, that's crazy. So just being able to regulate and just understand the reasons why kids are transferring, and it's not just because of money. I think that needs to go into play for sure.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Awesome. Well, as we kind of wrap up here, I know you already mentioned Florida State, and I know it's hard when you're coaching, you're busy, but like, are you an NFL guy? Do you follow the NFL? Do you follow other sports?
Yeah, so I mean, for me, it's tough because I'm a blue hose. You know what I'm saying? I coach at PC and all that, so I'm tied into PC. But I'm more of a college guy. I like the NFL. I'm a Giants fan, right? And so I do follow them a little bit, but I'm more of a college fan. I'm Florida State through and through, and I've always been the type of guy I like to watch college, because I think in my mind they're hungry and they're going to play as hard as they can. When the NFL is not always that like that, so um, I do love other sports. I'm a Yankees fan. I love baseball. I love basketball. I love all those different things. But football is my bread and butter. But I would say I'm more of a college guy for sure. I love watching them on Saturdays and just being able to just enjoy the games and the hungriness of every player that's out there for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I like college football more. I like college basketball more. I even love going to like we've got a Division II program in the town I live in. You know, their games are fun to go to on the weekends. You know, those guys play hard. Go to D3 games. You know, I just think college athletics in general are really fun for the reason you said. Guys are hungry, especially the lower the
Yeah,
level you get, smaller schools, like those guys are playing because they just love that sport.
for
Um,
sure. Absolutely.
and you don't always, like you said, you don't always see that at the professional level, especially if like you've got a team with a losing record. They kind of know their season's over. At the NFL, they might not play as serious, but at college, like there's always something to play for because some of those guys they might never get to play high level of football again, so they're going to give it their all every
Right.
single game. And I think there's just something special about that at college level sports.
Absolutely. No, I agree 100% for sure.
Definitely. Well, I appreciate you taking some time out of your busy schedule here with camp and the season coming up here, and look forward to some PC football and wish you guys the best with your season, and let's hopefully you guys can go out and have a great season. I'll be following for sure.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate you. And yes, everybody follow PC and just watch us on this journey. We're excited about this season in 2025 and what we can do. Go Blue Hose.
Thanks for listening. Please stay tuned for more episodes soon.